up, everyone?
Hey guys! So we are going to go into the world of Mario. A lot of people want to know how we did it, what we did, different lessons. So we actually had all grade levels in here today. And, well, actually, between today and tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
we got one more.
Myself and Daniel and Wade are all going to be here with me so we can talk to you about how we took this same exact room transformation and how we, adapted it to different content and different material. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll talk to you all about the room at the end, but we want to get into some content first and explain what we did. So here's a view of the room. Wade, I see you. Wave to everyone, Wade. We can see your shadow.
Hey.
All right, so we're going to go over here, but I'm going to give you a little preview of the room. Here comes Mr. Thompson. He's trying to run away from the camera. He'll be in costume later. Wade's still in costume.
Full costume.
I'm not right now, but Wade will be out here with us too in just a second. All right, so let's go have a seat real fast. All right. Hey guys, can we all squeeze in? So I was actually dressed like Princess Peach today, but the costume was so itchy, it was so miserable that I have on Luigi now because green is a better color than red. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Thompson?
I think it's a great color.
And Wade is still dressed completely like Mario, so he'll be out here in just a second. I don't know where he is
silly.
right now. Oh, he's peeping. Wade, why do you always
It's
enter
Mario.
periscopes in the weirdest way ever?
Get your hand off her back.
Why is this light, y'all? I'm sorry, guys. This glare was awful the last
squeezing.
time. What can we do?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That is bad.
It's
All right,
bad.
Go back down.
If we just kind of squeeze
Okay.
in.
Anyways, there. Let your head block it. All right. Well, hey everyone. So we're gonna quickly introduce ourselves and we're gonna get going. Sorry, we had some lighting issues. We're trying to block it with our heads and be creative. But for those of you that I don't know, my name is Hope King and I am a blogger at Elementary Shenanigans and I'm a teacher here at the Ron Clark Academy, which is where we are right now. And then these are the crazy people beside me.
That's right. All right, so I'm Mr. Daniel Thompson. I'm the science teacher here at RCA. It's my first year teaching. It's been a blast.
Teaching here.
Right, teaching here.
Right.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Teaching here. I apologize. And it's absolutely been joyous, and I can't imagine being anywhere else after being at the school. So this has been an awesome lesson, and we can't wait to tell you about it.
Yep. And so I am Wade King, Hope's husband, and I teach. I've taught a lot of different things here at RCA. This year I teach mainly social studies, and I also teach 5th grade math. So for different grade levels as well.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in. We're going to show you the whole, so if you've been following us on Instagram or if you've seen pictures on Facebook, a lot of people have been interested in, first of all, what we did with the room, and then second of all, what content we tied to it, because I don't know how many people out there love Super Mario as much as I do, or just Mario in general. I felt like it brought back so many childhood memories for me. I love the game. And so anyways, we just wanted to use that because our kids, Wade actually, do you want to talk about the passion projects and kind of how we got the idea for it?
Okay. So Genius Hour, everyone's heard of Genius Hour and Passion Project. So one of my 8th grade students, Emmanuel, he did his passion project on video gaming and potentially what he could do in the future with video gaming, research, using it in virtual reality, bringing it into the classroom and all of that. And he mentioned, and one of the follow-up questions I had for him just to find out about it was, Emmanuel, what's your favorite video game? And he said Super Mario and Mario Kart, and the whole 8th grade just blew up. And so it's all about finding things that your students are excited about. It doesn't necessarily have to be curriculum. And so once we heard that, Hope and I talked, and this is something we've wanted to do for a long time, and we said, you know what, it's a perfect time to do it. And it really gave those 8th graders here at RCA one last hoorah before they leave us to their high schools.
This was like spot on because the kids' faces were like, they have never reacted so crazy. I was telling Mr. Thompson, because he's actually doing this tomorrow, they were just like, so they couldn't even hide their excitement. Sometimes older kids, y'all, do this with your older kids. They like it. They might not act as excited, but they really love it. But today they couldn't even hide their excitement. So we're going to quickly talk about what we did, and then we're going to show you how we transformed the room, but I'm going to save that for last. So what's unique about this room transformation is I did it today with 5th and 6th. Wade did it with the completely different content with 8th, and Daniel's doing it with science. So I did reading today with 5th and 6th. Wade did ancient India. Ancient Civilizations with 8th grade, and Daniel is doing science tomorrow with 7. So here's what we want to show you. A lot of people want to do these room transformations, and what we're trying to tell you, get a team. Even if it's 2 or 3 grade levels at your school. Maybe you have a multi-purpose room, or you have one room that you can all go in and transform, and then you can all use it for different content. Because honestly, you think of the room first, then you tie the content to that room to make it work for whatever you're teaching. It can be done with anything. So a lot of people get overwhelmed. They want to transform their room, but if you can find a team, you can still teach whatever content you want to teach and just kind of do one a year as a team, and that makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to let Wade share kind of this whole concept. Basically, all of us are working on the concept of levels.
Yes.
So advancing levels, just like in the game. So Wade's going to quickly share for just a minute or two. We're not going to get deep into it because you'd be here all day. But just briefly, what he did with Ancient Civ. Daniel's going to share what he's going to do tomorrow with 7th. And then I'll explain what I did with 5th and 6th as I take you around the room, because there's some different elements to the room that was also part of their content.
Yeah, so we had different levels here, and essentially when they came in, I split them up into teams of 4. So 2 Mario and 2 Luigi. So they were in teams of 4, and they had to go to each level. They didn't all start off on level 1. Some started off on level 1, level 2, level 3, kind of like stations. And so they were racing to finish, and then when they finished a task, they had to come over to me and had to check off to make sure it was correct. So some of these levels consisted of learning how to milk a cow. So we had actually a glove, and they had some research and some reading they had to do with it, answering the questions, and then the final activity with that was to milk a cow into a bucket. So that was one of the levels. Another level was to decode Sanskrit. So they had to decode ancient civilization Sanskrit into English language, use that, and they used the Mario Kart to run down, grab the Sanskrit tools, come back, figure that out. And then another level was simply vocabulary. So vocabulary recall, definitions, explaining essay questions. So they punched the little question mark that you'll see in a little bit. They fell down. They had to answer 4 of those, had to check them. Once they moved that, they moved on. And then, go ahead.
Can somebody just let me know if y'all can hear us in the comments, because I'm scared that this may not have great service right now.
Hello?
So I want to make sure that
Send me comments.
I don't see anything either.
I think we lost them.
Hello?
And it's still 151.
I know. That's why I'm like, this is weird. Daniel, can you check?
I'm checking.
Okay, we're checking. We're going to keep going if y'all can hear us, but if not, we're going to have to restart this thing, which stinks because we've already done so much.
Mr. Thompson? And it's loading.
Can you hear us?
I don't think it's working.
Oh, no. Can you?
Hey, you can't hear
So
us.
maybe we're just not seeing the comments.
We can read the comments on Mr.
I don't-
Thompson's
yes.
Okay, but you mute it.
phone. Mute it.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all.
Smart are we?
We were really confused because we couldn't see anything and the numbers weren't changing and we didn't see anything on the screen, and we were like, okay,
We don't see a
they're
thing. We
done.
see it on Mr. Thompson's phone, but that's
All
it.
right. So
Okay.
you saw a moment of us being absolutely ridiculous. We apologize. Real life here.
So just those activities. I had 6 levels here, and once they finished a level, I would check them off. All dealing with mostly ancient India, but I also teach current events, and so it's current event questions as well. And that was pretty much it. We were trying to save the princess. The top 2 teams, they're receiving a reward trip, and Hope will talk to you a little bit about that later. We're going to have a little party for them.
Yep.
So strictly, like Hope said, took this theme of the room change idea and adapted it to ancient Civ and current events.
Yeah,
Super
and
easy.
Wade did his completely different than mine.
Yep.
Like, I started off with level 1, and I'll talk about that in a second, but it's all about making it work for you. Anything that I ever share on my blog or we ever share on Instagram, a lot of people want to know exactly how we did it, and we're fine with sharing it. It doesn't matter, but it more importantly is about taking what kind of the concept or the idea and then transforming it into what you actually need for your school.
Right.
So you want to talk quickly about what you're going to do with 7th grade tomorrow?
Right. So tomorrow, what we're going to do?
In front of the camera.
Hey,
Excuse
sorry.
me.
Come on, Mario.
So we can read the captions and answer questions.
How do I deal with these two? I don't know.
So, all right. So tomorrow, what we're doing is we've been talking recently about food webs and food chains, and tomorrow, what we're going to do is, as soon as the kids come in, the very first level, they're going to have to use the booklet that they're given, and there's going to be a huge type of Mario map on the booklet, the old school map where they actually have to go around, and like Bowser's like castle is in the middle, and so each actual level on the map is going to be a producer, a primary consumer, a secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, things like that, and each one is where they're going to have to build a food chain. Then after they do that and I check it off, they go to level 2. On level 2, they're going to make a food web. So it's kind of the same concept, but they're actually having to make something bigger. Now tonight, and they don't know this yet, it's totally a surprise tomorrow. So tonight I told them for their homework, we've been studying energy pyramids. Tonight they actually have to look when they eat supper at how many calories are in the food that they're eating tonight. Then tomorrow morning when they eat breakfast, they once again have to look at how many calories are in the food that that is in the breakfast that they're eating, and then tomorrow for level 3, they have to actually build an energy pyramid, and they have to fill it in with the different foods and the different calories that they've been eating the last couple of days. So as soon as they finish that, I'll call for time, and then the very last thing that they have to do is I'm splitting them up into Mario and Luigi. I don't know if I should tell the part.
Oh.
Okay, I will.
You better tell.
All right.
They're going to want to know.
Okay.
And then you'll get a lot of messages on Facebook about it.
So, yes. Okay, so I'm splitting them up into Mario and Luigi, and I'm giving each one of them a different card. For example, it starts off as one of them has to be the sun, one of them might be a snake or a bear or the grass or a worm or a fish or something like that. And then when one of them gets the yarn, let's say, for example, they're the sun, the actual Mario or Luigi group that does it the fastest by completing a food web and passing it to the next primary consumer or second level consumer is the winner, and they get to go over, and Hope's going to show you the flag in just a little bit, and they actually get to raise the flag in order to win the level that they're on.
Yeah, so, and kind of what I'm going to talk about is how I did it with 5th grade, but both of those ways were really, I'm sorry, I'm laughing, y'all, because I can see the replay over here, and it has a delay, and I'm laughing at us on the delay because it's weird. I'm sorry, but that's the only way we can see your comments. So, yeah, for me, I did it completely different. I wanted to, to kind of structure around the levels of Mario and how you advance, and also, as I mentioned earlier, I was dressed as Princess Peach, and I could talk to you in a British accent, but y'all, I have learned that I only have accents when I'm in costume. Like if I were to try to do an accent right now, and it was really good, wasn't it?
It was good.
I mean, it was a good accent because I couldn't do a high pitchy voice because I'm so my throat is, I don't even know. But so my only option was a British accent, and I can do a pretty doggone good British accent, but I can't do it on like call. I have to be in a costume. So anyways, I was Princess Peach, and I told the kids when they came in that they were trying to put me or lock me up in a dungeon for the rest of my life, and so they had to save the princess. And so this whole entire year we have been working on I teach reading, so steps of close reading and how you break down text, and you can never get enough practice with that, and it's something that they need over and over again. So they started off at level 1, and they were, with my lesson, it was Mario and Luigi pairs, just like in the game. So they were 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. So for 5th grade, I had 20 different groups. But they were Mario and Luigi pairs, and then they all started off at level 1. And they started with this text, and I'm going to show you in just a second. Actually, wait, can you drop? Yep. It's one of the chevron envelopes. I don't think that a boy knows what chevron means, but it's yellow, so maybe he'll find it. He's been around me long enough to know what chevron means. But they all started off with a passage, and so each level was a deeper step in the close reading process. And so it was a way that you can go deeper and deeper and deeper into the text. So once they passed the first level, then they would advance to level 2, and they advanced at their own pace, and they were seeing, and we'll show you the flag in just a second, which group could rescue the princess first. So I actually if you don't use News ELA, you need to. So News ELA is a phenomenal site that has leveled passages. They go anywhere from 2nd grade all the way up to like 12th grade level. And so we started off with this article. I'm going to have to read it this way, but it is Game On. New study says video games could be good for you. So the kids were really excited about reading this, A, because it was about video games, and that was the whole concept of this lesson. B, because I told them they can use this information as leverage to tell their parents why they should be able to play video games longer. Plus, we've been working on persuasive and argumentative. And so what I didn't tell them, and this was 6th grade, 5th grade was kind of a step down, but same article. That's what I love about News ELA is that the topic is the same, just the level of difficulty can be kind of differentiated. So this was a 6th grade article. Actually, this might be the 5th grade version, but 6th grade, yeah, this is the 5th grade version. So 5th grade had subtopics, and it was all broken down for them, so they had to do key ideas and details. 6th grade, you can ask Wade, he was in here, they had a 12th grade level. It was like a collegiate level passage. It was so hard, no subtopics, 4 pages of just information, and they had their first level was they had to figure out what the text says, so they had to go through and break it down and chunk it and create subtopics. And so I had to keep reminding them that sometimes when you play a video game, the first level, you have to play it 50 times before you actually pass it. And so I kept reminding them, don't get frustrated, keep working. And eventually, some of them, it took 40 minutes just to pass the first level. So this wasn't just some kind of easy work just to be able to have a Mario theme. It was super difficult. Then they moved on to level 2,
and when it literally probably took them at least 20 minutes to do that first level, and Hope
was
kept
so
saying,
hard.
Hope kept saying, stamina. You gotta, and especially this time of year with reading, we know that
Reading,
stamina is not there. They've gotta
focus.
keep
Some of them would
going.
do a paragraph and then look up, and those are all the things that
Right.
I talked to them about. They've got to stay focused and just plow through it, and they really did it. I mean, I have to say they did a
worked hard.
phenomenal job.
They worked really
And
hard.
so then they would move on to other levels. So what I have in front of me is level. This would be an example of level 2, and so I actually had baskets. 1, 2. Can you grab the 3?
Sure.
So this is another concept that you could use. 1, 2, and 3. Well, I don't know
Right.
that. You get the picture.
got all
Okay.
of them over
So
there.
anyways, they represented tunnels, right? And so, because in Super Mario, you have tunnels. So what would happen is they would decide which tunnel they wanted to jump down. So level 2 was all about text structures. So they would have a passage in there, and they would have to identify the text structure of 5 different paragraphs. Now, what the 1, 2, and 3 stood for is on the inside flap of the envelope, they would either find a 1, a 2, or a 3, but they weren't in the same number baskets. That's how many they had to paraphrase. So if they were lucky, they would only draw 1 envelope, because that would mean they only had to paraphrase 1. If they were unfortunate, they would grab an envelope that said 3, and so it would take them a little bit longer.
It's like the game.
Just
You
like
never
the
know.
game. You never
Right.
know which tunnel you're going to jump down and what level and how difficult it's going to be. And so then I had the same thing for, then level 3 was actually a question box back here. You can kind of see it. Yep, right. Yep, this right here. And inside of it was, little square boxes. And so what the kids would do is they would punch it. If they were the first team, they would punch the box, and it dropped out a ton of little question boxes. And so on read, what are you trying to
have
do?
to punch.
Are you punching back
Yeah.
there? He's trying to distract me. So they would, if they were the first team, they would punch the box and it would drop. Wade's going to grab me some. But the third level of reading is identifying vocabulary and really using context clues to identify the terminology, and for fiction to be figurative language. So I don't even know if there's anything inside of here. There's not right now. But inside of these little boxes, I folded up an entire sheet that they had to analyze of figurative language and vocabulary and answer them.
And mine
So-
had essay questions, so same
Yeah.
thing, just adapting it.
And so after every level, they would bring their material to me to check before they could advance to the next level. Then level 4, just quickly, oh my goodness, what was level 4? Oh, I know. It was point of view. So that's moving on deeper into the text. So they had, again, to choose a tunnel. One tunnel only had 1 page of passages. Another tunnel had 2 pages of passages. Another tunnel had 3 pages of passages. And they had to identify point of view. So hopefully they chose lucky there. Level 5 was Mario Kart. And I'll show you when I show you the room. They would actually travel down on the little Mario Kart, the little go-kart thing that we have that I use for Hungry Hippos. And they would collect a different passage of theme and identify theme. And then 6, they shot down this tunnel and they were drawing conclusions. That was the final step in reading, drawing conclusions and synthesizing and putting everything back together. And so then the first team that finished all of that, they pulled the flag down and they rescued the princess, and ultimately that's how it worked. And so the final thing that we want to share with you, then we're going to show you the room, is the Yoshi eggs.
Oh, yes.
So grab, so I think that we've done so many room transformations that it's actually like we have finally figured it out. So another step, and we talked about this with the pirate games, is they can kind of see them, is behavior and management. Keeping kids focused, keeping them on track, not letting them become overly stimulated so they're so excited they can't control themselves. And so last night, Wade and I had this idea for Yoshi eggs that look like this. Now, we just have white Easter eggs, and then we put colored dots. So we have red and black and blue and green.
There's a lot of
So
them.
there's a lot of them. And so here's what we would do. The red and the orange and the black all stood for something negative. So these were like our mushrooms that would kind of eat you alive in the game of Mario and kill you, right? And so what would happen is if they were not paying attention, they were too loud, or they were unfocused, or they were acting crazy, they would get a black egg or a red or an orange. That would take, or that would add a minute to their final time.
It's a race.
It's a race. So at the end of, say they finished level 6 first, they would have to wait for a minute, or say they got 5 eggs, they would have to wait for 5 minutes, and potentially another team could finish first. So they did not want to earn those black eggs or those red eggs or those orange eggs because they did not want to add any time. Now, reverse, if they got a green or a blue egg, then that was something positive. And so they were working hard, they were focused, they had that stamina, they were really, diving into it. And so this would take a minute from their time. So you kind of have to wait until all your students are done to be able to calculate their time. But this was the best thing ever.
It really was. And keeping,
Ever.
so we had, 100 and something kids in here today?
Throughout today, we had 100 and something kids.
They would receive a black egg or a red egg or a bad egg if they messed up the classroom. So if they weren't paying attention and cleaning up after themselves, they received one of those eggs. So not only with staying on task and reading and paying attention, but also taking care of your area. It really, really was phenomenal.
You gonna use these tomorrow?
I'm gonna use the crap out of those.
And then one final thing with these, if they got questions incorrect, like I didn't mind one or two every now and then kind of helping them out because some of them were really, really challenging. But if they brought me a whole sheet that they were just, because it was a race, that they were trying to rush through just to be the first one done, they would get a black egg because that means they weren't putting thought. When I tell you not one child rushed through anything, and they were actually scared to bring me their paper because they wanted to have it all correct, that brought focus, that brought engagement, and placed the emphasis on the activities instead of the room.
Right.
And so that's what it's all about, is really that content. And we're getting ready for testing and a lot of different things happening here. So we need to hit a lot of content. And when I tell you that these kids, oh my gosh, the amount of work that was accomplished today was
I'm
huge.
exhausted.
I'm exhausted too.
Worn out.
All right, so
I'll be exhausted tomorrow.
He'll let you know. We'll have to do a follow. Daniel will have to do a follow-up Periscope on Mr. T Mad Scientist.
There you go.
And he'll let you know how his day went. But now we are going to show you the room, and so we're going to kind of show you Daniel and Wade were incredible and hanging everything, and we're going to show you how it was done. We're also going to talk to you about what was the most expensive things and things that you could use in the place of that, because I bought some things that you might not necessarily have to have. A lot of this, so people always ask us how we get the funds, how we get the money for this. We just save up and we just purchase a couple things a year. Or what you will notice today is that a lot of this was used for my Force in Motion when I did NASCAR. Yep. A lot of it was used for the beach or the Arctic, or a lot of transformations that I've already done. So I'm all about, reduce, reuse, recycle, and putting things to use again. If you're going to spend the money on something, make the most out of it. Right. So we're going to talk to you about how we did the room, kind of some things that you want to, if you wanted to do this, things that you would definitely want to have. It's really not as expensive as it looks.
It's not that bad at all.
But I think I say this every time, but I'm so serious about this one. I think this is my favorite I've ever done, just because of the kids. The kids were so into this one. Video games, Mario,
it was probably
huge.
their favorite.
Yeah.
And it went really smooth.
So they want you to Periscope live from the classroom. Should I come in and watch you teach?
We can do it.
All right, so we'll see, maybe. All right, so I'm going to flip you around, and we're just going to kind of explain the room to you and what we use and the materials, so that way if you want to do a Super Mario transformation, you can do it in your classroom as well. But remember, think of your theme, then attach that content, and think about how you can make it as challenging as possible. Right. All right, guys, hold on one second. I'm going to flip you around. So first of all, the room, and Wade and Daniel can help me if I forget stuff, but the room is simply lined with these blue tarps. These are just painters drop cloths that are blue. I bought them on Amazon and they were $3 a piece. That is it. So the tarps itself are not super expensive. They're pretty cheap, and then Wade just used clips to hang them from the top. Now, the other thing that we did is, and Daniel and Wade helped me. Are y'all leaving?
No.
Oh, I thought they were leaving me. We also purchased decals. So these decals, I found the cheapest ones on Amazon that I could find, because I wasn't trying to do an actual child's bedroom. But they're relatively inexpensive, and they'll stay on the tarps forever. So I just bought decals off of Amazon to kind of give it that Super Mario character feel type thing. So that's pretty much it with how the blue tarps are, and I'm gonna kind of step back and try to be still so you can see. There's where we were sitting, but the blue tarps just with the decals all the way around the room, and it's just blue tarp draped from the top. Okay, so that's decals, and then I also bought some cloud decals and things like that. The next thing, so those two things are relatively inexpensive. I'll talk about what was a little bit more. Now, the next thing are the coins that you see hanging from the ceiling. This was not my idea. It was an idea on Pinterest, and it was dollar store gold plates on fishing wire. That is it. And so this was very inexpensive, and it took us no time. I was thinking these things were going to take forever. Wade and I, even Daniel said that I was fast, and Daniel doesn't like to spend a lot of time on detail of decoration. Right. So if he's saying it's fast, it definitely is. And I just did different sets of 5 and 4 and 3 to kind of give the concept. I'm trying not to let the lights block everything, but the concept of the coins, so you can see some more over here. So coins, pretty inexpensive. Actually, hardly anything at all. Then the next thing is, and I'm going to head over, I'm sorry guys, the question boxes. So these were really cheap. We just had boxes here at RCA. Notice they're not even perfect squares. So for type A people like me, it kind of bothered me, but I got over it. You can ask Wade. I was like searching for square boxes everywhere, but we just didn't have them. So I went with what I had. All I simply did was cover the outside in poster board. That was it. It's yellow poster board and yellow duct tape. That is it. I'll even show you the inside and how crazy it is. It's not even covered. It's just duct tape. Like you can see it. It's a mess. Okay.
Tell them how you put the
Yeah, I
things
will.
in.
And then I just painted question marks. Like even my question marks are a mess. I don't even care. You couldn't tell. So then I just used butcher paper, yellow butcher paper, and I just kind of taped it from one side to the other, and then I just put the questions on top of it. So when they punched it, the questions just tumbled out. So I thought these were going to take me all day. They really didn't. It was super fast because I just covered the outside. I didn't even glue the poster board on. I just used duct tape all the way around. So I'll kind of show you how it looks on. I hope it doesn't fall on me,
God.
Okay.
It didn't take long to make, but it took a long time to hang.
Wade doesn't like to hang stuff.
I'm scared of heights, but it was really difficult to hang.
All right, so there you have the main parts of Mario, the questions, the coins, and the blue tarps with the little Mario dudes. Now, the next thing is because it was, and Daniel or Wade, y'all can get over there and demonstrate, but since it was Save the Princess, the first team to complete the challenge captured the flag, just like in the game. Thank you for the sound effects.
He's got to jump on it and slide
Yeah, you're
down.
supposed to jump and slide. No, don't, please. Okay. So, Hutch, one of our fabulous members here at the Wrong Card Academy, built this for us. I think he threw it together in no time because he's fabulous with stuff like that. I am not. And so it's just a pulley system. And can you bring it back down just for a second? Or right there. It's just poster board. The flag is just poster board with a Super Mario decal. And then I just hot glued it. So I did like a little flap. And I hot glued it to the rope, and that was it. So it kind of stayed up, and yeah, simple machines, perfect. You could even have your students build it as a project. So a pulley. So that is the flag. Then the next thing, we had one level that was Mario Kart. So this turf, and Wade's going to demonstrate, Daniel. Okay, Mario Kart. So this, hold on one second before you go. Oh my word, these two are crazy. The black tarp was from NASCAR, so it was just reused. The turf, NASCAR. So I reused all of this stuff, even the checkered, I'm not on y'all right now, so you might want to hold on a second. The checkered tablecloths were even from NASCAR. So those were all NASCAR things that I reused. All right, now they're going to demonstrate how Mario Kart works. So this was level 5 for me, and they had to push their partner down the road. And they had to collect, oh my word, these guys.
I got one.
They had to collect themes. So they had to collect different passages. Come on, work as a team. Okay, we're going to go away from that because that's a disaster. But they had to collect different passages for theme, and then they would go back down and they would have to answer the questions. So let me see what else. Oh, okay, the tunnels. These little green tunnels that I added poster board to, and that one kind of has a gap. And then there's one over here. Those were all, and then right here. This was my level 6. Those were all from IKEA. I think they were like $9 a piece, but if you did not want to invest in those, I'm thinking of how many room transformations I could use these for. If you didn't want to invest in those, you could use boxes for the same exact concept. That's it. So the things that were most expensive in this room that you could still do you could do it without doing these actual things, the tunnels, and those could be, what are those boxes called? Like wardrobe boxes or even refrigerator boxes. You can call your local, Sam's or H.H. Gregg or whatever you have, Best Buy, Walmart, and get refrigerator boxes, and then the hats. So I had to purchase these. I just had to. They're Mario and Luigi hats, just like the ones that we have on, and I bought them on Amazon. So those were a little expensive. You could do something different for that. You could just get red and green hats, but that was something that I purchased and invested in because I knew I would use them for years to come. So the hats and the tunnels were the only thing that was really expensive. The plates, dollar store, the tarps, painter's drop cloth on Amazon, the decals on Amazon, and then like black plastic that was $10 at Home Depot, and the turf that I had, and the flag. Get you a really great dad to make it, and then some cardboard boxes.
Do you want to show them pictures?
I am going to show them. You can go on my Facebook or Instagram. We'll be sharing pictures, but I do want to show them the tunnel. Yeah. Last thing, and then here's where I had tables set up with the level stuff. And so I just got these 1, 2, and 3 tunnels from IKEA. Well, I call them tunnels. They're just little tubs. And they were like $4 for 3.
Nothing.
Like really, really cheap. And I can use those for a lot of things. And then I just kind of had passages and all my materials set out like that. All right. So then the kids entered. This is going to be the final thing we're going to show you. And then we'll take questions. Daniel, you still got your phone on? Okay. So here's how they entered into the room. I'm going to kind of see if I cannot hurt myself and do this at the same time. But we just bought several of the IKEA tunnels and put them together and pieced them together. So oh my goodness, y'all, I might hurt myself. So they walked up to this today, which is a retro TV that Daniel and Wade built, and they had to hop, and of course the remote control, and we had music playing out here, the Mario theme song, and they had to hop in the TV and be transported into the land of Mario, into the world of Mario. So that's kind of how we did our entrance.
That was it. With
All right.
blasting.
So Daniel, you're gonna have to. Oh, I actually see comments now. It must have been something about coming out into the hallway. All right. So any questions as I walk back into my room? Anything? My grades. Our 8th graders spit in the tunnel. Seriously. That you think they won't, but they will.
All but 2.
All but 2 8th graders, and we're talking about one that's like 6'4". All but 2 8th graders, all of my 6th graders, all of our 5th graders, they all fit into the tunnel. Okay. So I'll show you a few pictures on the computer while we wait for some questions, and we'll answer those questions as they come through. Daniel, can you let us know about questions?
Yes.
Okay, so here are the kids. Oh yeah, there's my Princess Peach costume. They were just so excited. This was, those lights back there.
Can you say Mario?
Can I say Mario? Mario.
She says Mario.
I say it, really? I didn't think I said it strange. This was level 5 where they had to go down and find the theme passages. This was one of our 8th graders. Do you have close reading levels posted anywhere? I just did this today. I just got it, just figured it all out.
We
So
just did it today.
I haven't posted anything yet, but hopefully this summer I'll be able to.
There's one of our 8th graders getting.
Yeah.
So
How
close.
amazing is our photographer, Mr. Amesqua, to make it actually look like he was being transported. All right. Any other questions that you have for us? There's the levels and how I set up all the materials. Wade's just kind of going through. Okay, you can skip that one. Nobody needs to see me. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, there they are punching the question boxes, and you can see the little yellow boxes falling out. Then the whole entire box actually fell.
Receiving good
Wade's
eggs.
passing out those eggs. So yes, oh my gosh, I was being transported.
8th grade.
Yes, we do have a photographer here because, as many of you know, the Ron Clark Academy is an educator training facility. So we actually bring in teachers and train them here. So for all of our promotional needs, we also are a nonprofit. So we have a tremendous amount of donors. We have to send out all types of materials, newsletters. So yeah, we have a photographer that does our photography, but he also does all of our marketing materials along with Chrissy Major, and they're both fantastic. So we appreciate them so much. All right.
So
I think you've already hit all of those. So let me flip y'all back around, and we're going to say goodbye unless y'all have.
how long were
How long were classes? I actually had my 5th and 6th graders for 2.5 hours today, and they worked the entire, without even taking a break. They worked. And I had about 7 groups that were able to complete all of the challenges. Most of them were on level 5 or 6, and then that's up to them. They have to complete the work independently.
I had 8th grade a little over an hour and a half today. So
how do you keep students on task? Go back and watch the Periscope, the Yoshi eggs. It'll tell you everything about how we kept them on task, and those eggs work like a charm. So
Yes, they did.
I highly recommend the eggs.
And I think as far as the time limit goes,
Oh, we want to see you. Hey.
like I'm doing class for an hour. I think it just depends on how long your class is. You can vary the amount of levels depending on how many, how long. For example, Hope had 7 levels. I'll probably just do 4 because my class is a little bit shorter. So it just depends.
So I got my costume at Walmart. Hope you ordered yours.
Yeah, I got mine on Amazon. I have Amazon Prime, so I use it for everything. Do we offer scholarships? No, but like GoFundMe. Some people have done Donors Choose. So what did early finishers do? That's a great question. First of all, I had a comprehension check for the passage. Second of all, I went ahead and gave them their follow-up assignment with that. So we're working on arguments and different things like that. So they're eventually this week. Actually, the best part about this is now I have my content planned for the entire week. This is not just, let's do this activity and then forget about it.
Exactly.
This week, we're going to be looking at that article, talking about the point of view, talking about the perspective, talking about the vocabulary. So all of this is they should know how to do those strategies, but we're going to make sure they were on the right track and even dig deeper into it. So now that's something that we're going to be focusing on all week. So they kept all of their materials, and now we're going to dive even deeper into it.
Yep.
Deeper into video games, deeper into vocabulary that's associated with that. So how long will we keep this set up? 2 days. Sometimes I do it for a week. I kept Poetry Picnic up for a week. Sometimes we do it for a day. This one is 2 days because I need to finish up with 5th grade tomorrow, and he's got to do 7th grade tomorrow.
Right.
So a couple days usually. There's your buddy Jared. Hey Jared. All right. Wade is Mario. He's giving you heart eyes, so apparently he likes you. And Daniel is eating the hearts.
No, I'm Luigi.
Oh, I don't know what you were doing. All right, so any other
Eating the
questions?
hearts.
How long did it take to set up? Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you about this one. It took us probably, I would say, 8 hours. Would you say that's fair?
A little longer.
Maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
Here's why. The first time you do any kind of transformation,
Figuring
it's
it out.
painful.
Yep.
It is, because we had to put all the decals on. We had to do all the yellow boxes. We had to paint all the Yoshi eggs. We had had to. Now, next year, I would say it will probably take us an hour and a half to set up.
Yeah.
Would you say an hour and a half?
I don't think it would take long at all.
Yeah.
Next time, I mean, everything's done. We know how it works, so it's just figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. The hardest part is the first time. That's why I say find you a team, because we just had so much fun. We played music. We played our praise and worship music on Sunday after when we came up here, and we had a
went
good time
through the
together.
tunnels.
They went through the tunnels
Just
they
having
wanted.
fun.
So for those of you that don't know, RCA has the 2-story slide. They wanted to get in the tunnels and then go down the slide. But I told them no.
We'll do that later.
Did you make the yellow boxes? No, I ordered them. They're just little paper. They were very inexpensive, and they're just little paper yellow boxes that you can fold. But you could.
You can use eggs or whatnot.
Or
just put
envelopes.
something up
I used
there.
envelopes for a lot of my stuff was in envelopes. So
Yep.
and it wasn't even, y'all know how I am about stuff being pretty. It was just like white paper. That was it, because they had to be able to annotate on it and things like that. All right, any other questions that you're dying to know that we can answer before we go? And we can't wait to see. So if you do any Mario transformations, tag us on Instagram. I am Elementary Shenanigans. He is Wade King 157, and we're trying to get this one on Instagram. He's on Periscope and
That's
Facebook.
fine.
So
That's fine.
tag us in your pictures so that we can see how you implement them. Where do you store all the materials? So I get a Rubbermaid container for each room transformation, and then I just stuff everything inside that, label it, and we have a storage that I use on the school. I have a little room, and so I just store everything in there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that is it. A couple of things before we go. So several people have been, I just want to mention this while you're here, but several people have been asking about Get Your Teach On conference for Texas. One location is sold out. I have received so many emails about this, tons and tons, but one location is sold out, but we still have the Irving location in Dallas. It's like 15 minutes away from the Grapevine location, and it is still open. So you can still register on Eventbrite for Get Your Teach On in Texas on June 30th and July 1st this summer. What else? I think that's it. Anything else?
That's it.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot going on here at RCA. We have teacher educator training coming up. This is about to die, so we got to let y'all go. We've got educator training, national conference. So if any of you are going to be at national conference, we can't wait to see you. We're so excited. Or if you're going to be here for
Clark
training
Academy.
days. And if you want to come visit us here, visit www.ronclarkacademy.com, and you can pick up information about how you can come visit here and spend a whole entire day with us.
It's so
And the
fun.
rest of the
Sing
staff,
songs
Ron,
and all kinds
Kim,
of-
all the rest of our teachers. So we have a great time. All right, you all. Well, we've kept you long enough, but I know that was a lot of information. So hopefully, if you forgot anything, you can go back and rewatch it. But we can't wait to see what you all do with Mario World. All right. Any other words, guys?
Let's go.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for joining us. And is this Monday?
It is Monday.
Happy
day.
Monday, guys. All right.
Monday.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.